Oke, kalau ada orang yang bisa hobi, apa kayak main musik, main golf panas-panas, kenapa gue nggak boleh hobi debat kan gitu ya? The way the international debating community itu would trust your credentials as a judge, itu biasanya ngelihat lo udah pernah ngeju di mana aja, lo ngeju sejauh apa, itu terus competitionnya segede apa. Gue mau turun WUDC, and it would be great kalau kalian mau funding kita. Tapi gue nggak mau kalau gue berangkat, it would take away the spaces that otherwise would have been for other people. Gue akan sangat reserve untuk invite orang yang misalnya udah ketahuan untuk mengencourage cheating behavior. Why do we need to put more pity on someone who already admitted that they are doing something that they shouldn't be doing? One of my personal motto in life itu adalah what you cannot control, stop overthink. What you can control, do your best.
Hai semuanya, selamat datang di Behind the Speech, tempat para debater Indonesia ngobrolin hal-hal di balik podium. Dengan saya Nila dan tamu kita minggu ini ada Omar. Hai Omar.
Hai Mbak Nila.
Hai,
Hello.
how are you Omar?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good too, thank you. And what I heard, kayaknya sekarang kamu lagi prepare ya untuk anak-anak WSDC ya?
Yes, lagi latihan rutin aja sih sampai WSDC-nya nanti di bulan Juli.
Bulan Juli WSDC. Nah, kalau untuk internalnya sendiri tuh Mar, ada informasi nggak kayak NSDV-nya atau ya NSDV dan LDBI-nya itu sekitar bulan Juli juga atau Agustus ya kita sekarang?
That aku kurang tahu.
Belum ada informasi ya. Dengan kondisi seperti ini belum ada info juga ya.
Mungkin sih di kuarter 3 ya, 3 atau 4 deh antara akhir kuarter
Hmm,
3 atau awal kuarter 4 kemungkinan. Tapi belum ada,
hmm,
gue belum dapat detail lebih lanjutnya lagi sih.
belum ada bisikan-bisikan ya.
Belum ada yang membisikkan ke gue.
Oke, oke. So, Omar, waktu memutuskan untuk mengundang Omar itu tuh kemarin tuh banyak ngobrol juga sama Santo sebenarnya kayak siapa ya di Better Indonesia yang saat ini banyak menginspirasi dan lagi aktif-aktifnya gitu. Kalau dan akhirnya ngobrol-ngobrol-ngobrol tuh kayak oh Omar kan Omar lagi aktif-aktifnya ngelatih tim-tim yang ke WUDC terus juga ke eh, WSDC kayak gitu-gitu terus kayak oh iya benar juga nih gitu dan what I want to know itu sebenarnya lebih ke arah debate tapi bukan yang inside the tournament gitu loh Omar jadi
Mhm.
kayak kita pingin tahu tuh lebih ke arah let's say hal-hal yang dibalik debate turnamennya kayak gitu karena di sini ya di especially Jawa Timur where I live itu tuh masih banyak sekolah juga yang kayaknya berpikir kalau misalnya debat itu dengan kamu sekali dua kali dilatih dan kamu bisa expect the best result gitu. Nah, jadi pinginnya ngobrol sama kamu yang juga megang tim dibuat ke internasional sebagai representasi Indonesia itu bisa ngasih informasi lebih nih buat debater-debater lain di daerah-daerah sana ataupun nanti pelatihnya atau seperti apa yang nonton video ini untuk dapat enlightenment kalau debate is also about the process gitu dan yang di achieve itu kayak nggak cuma turnamen doang gitu but a lot of things gitu dan turnamen itu cuma one of the things but sebelum kita ke sana Omar perkenalan dulu deh nih kayak Omar nih awalnya kenal debat itu kayak gimana dan seingatku dulu kan waktu S2 Omar kan turun ya di WUDC tapi kan juga Omar itu sebelumnya di Unpad if I'm not mistaken ya Universitas
Yep,
Pajajaran
betul.
ya nah awal kenal debat terus kayak masuk ke Unpad terus akhirnya decide untuk turun lagi WUDC itu gimana tuh Mar? Proses berpikirnya saat itu seperti apa dan um,
Hmm.
apa yang kamu rasakan waktu itu? Kayak apakah ada sesuatu yang masih belum ke-achieve sampai akhirnya kamu mutusin untuk, "Oke, aku selesai S2, aku pengen turun lagi." Dan kayak gimana deh? Aku pengen tahu
Oke,
itunya dulu.
panjang nih ya.
Ya,
Kebetulan
that's
kan,
why I told you. That's
iya,
why I told you.
kebetulan kan Dino juga nih. Gue kan jadi gue di Unpad tuh dari 2011 sampai 2015 ya S1-nya itu gue ngambil akuntansi dan sekarang kerjaan gue nggak ada hubungannya sama akuntansi. Terus gue kenal debat tahun 2012 waktu itu pertama kali ada teman sekelas yang join union debatnya di Unpad namanya English Speaking Union terus ngajakin kayak mau coba nggak ikut try out terus kayak gue emang hobinya kan yapping ya kayak emang bacot gitu jadi kayak udah seru nih kayaknya buat ikutan terus ya udah try out obviously I had no basics I don't know the mechanics of debate I don't know the rules tapi dijelasin segala macam I made the team and then lomba pertama gue itu adalah namanya NDC itu dulu bikinannya Fakultas Ekonomi di Unpad jurusan Ilmu Ekonomi tapi itu kayak lumayan ya kok internasional ya national debate gitulah kayak national
Mhm,
debate competition gitu kan
mhm,
gue join sama dua teammate yang gue nggak pernah kerja together sebelumnya tapi kayak ya udah against all odds kita break 15 um, ya pretty remarkable kayak lomba pertama terus gue ingat banget tuh edge core-nya ada almarhum Kak Odi terus
mmm,
ada dari Unpar juga gue lupa tuh siapa nah terus ya udah kan break tapi gue otomatis kalah lah di Okto ya karena kan
mmm,
ketemunya break 2 tuh ya
peringkat
udah.
2 ya.
Terus gue kayak, ya udah deh, tapi seru nih, lanjut. Nah, gue turun Jovet di Purwokerto tuh tahun 2012.
Oke, mmm,
Nah, nggak break, cuma 2 VP dari 6. Nah, terus abis itu gue lumayan kayak agak-agak kayak, is debate really for me? Why is it so hard? Terus kayak, ya udah gitu kan.
mmm,
Dan kebetulan tuh gue baru mau masuk tahun ketiga di kampus, terus biasalah anak-anak kampus di Indonesia kan, kayak kalau lo mau dapat karir yang oke lo harus organisasi. Nah akhirnya gue abandon debate lah buat in pursuit of like
mmm,
organisasi di kampus kayak himpunan gitu-gitu kan.
mhm,
Terus udah gue hiatus debat 2 tahun, 2014 gue ngerasa karir gue di himpunan juga gitu-gitu aja kayak udah di CV gue udah oke nih gue udah jabat posisi bla 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 kayaknya gue butuh aktivitas lain terus waktu itu si ESU si klub debatnya Unpad itu lagi open buat tim pokoknya try out buat yang mau diberangkatin ke UADC di NTU Singapura tahun 2014
mmm,
terus gue kayak seru deh jalan-jalan. Nah otaknya tuh masih jalan-jalan doang tuh. Terus ya udah kayak gue apply minta izin orang tua kan biasa kan masih di biaya itu karena kebetulan di Unpad gue kan di Fakultas Ekonomi dan Bisnis di
ya,
Bandung.
mmm,
Sementara 14 fakultas lainnya itu tuh di Jatinangor yang
mmm,
45 menitan lah dari Bandung ke Jatinangor gitu kan. Jadi gue juga
mhm,
latihan tuh susah karena back and forth-nya tuh tergantung jadwal kuliah juga kan, jadwal
betul,
praktikum lah, apapun jadi ribet. Jadi gue juga latihannya nggak bisa sering-sering banget. Tapi akhirnya gue masuk tim, terus kita kirim 2 tim tuh ke UADC, dua dua tim. Unfortunately, both teams did not break. Tapi
mhm,
gue kayak, oh karena gue udah nggak ini lagi ya udah nggak under the influence of organisasi gitu jadi kayak yaudah deh gue tekunin debat gitu kan terus akhirnya
mmm,
di Unpad itu kan sistem seleksi buat NUDC-nya tuh per fakultas jadi ada 16 fakultas berarti jadi ada 16 tim 3 round terus nanti yang dipilih berangkat buat mewakilin Unpad di NUDC itu top to best speaker-nya. Nah,
mmm,
gue itu sebenarnya waktu 2014 itu gue ikut seleksinya, terus gue masuk waktu itu gue benar-benar nggak tahu NUDC itu apa, WUDC
mmm,
itu apa, gue benar-benar cuma
mmm,
kayak tim hore aja gitu. Terus gue ikutan, gue tuh sebenarnya ranking 3 tuh di tab. Jadi yang ranking 2-nya yang jadi teammate gue di tahun depannya itu sayangnya lagi sibuk-sibuknya lah karena dia FK. Jadi kayak dia bilang,
mmm,
gue nggak bisa nih terus karena gue 3 jadi gue yang naik nah yaudah gue
mmm,
ngewakilin 4 tuh di NUDC di Batam tahun 2014 nah
mmm,
Terus gue ikutan, gue bener-bener gak expect kalau itu tuh sangat kompetitif ya dan menyeramkan gitu. Terus kayak I got to see like a lot of like very very cool debaters from all over the country and then amazing judges as well. Terus ya udah gue ikutin aja. I think we broke pretty like low at least by my standards right now. Kayak
Mhm.
14, 16 gue lupa pokoknya kayak
Mhm.
gitulah. But then still it was a humbling experience karena gue nggak pernah di national stage yang segede itu kan. Terus that year we managed to get into semifinals dan itu juga maksudnya in history di Unpad tuh kayak tim-tim Unpad tuh selalu mentok di semifinal. Jadi kayak we were hoping ya nih
Mmm.
kita masuk final, ternyata nggak bisa. Jadi udah. Terus because of that kayaknya Unpad agak semangat nih buat funding kita. Jadi akhirnya kita di-funded buat ikut WUDC
Mmm.
Malaysia. Jadi kita fully funded tuh ke WUDC Malaysia. Terus di situ all hell broke loose lah basically kayak we met like judges yang like sometimes I think the call was not the fairest and a very weird decision. But it is what it is. Dan waktu itu gue finished at 12 VPs. So
Mhm.
12 VPs sebenarnya bisa break. Jadi kalau kayak di
Mhm.
salah satu round, kalau gue
Mhm.
bisa dapat I don't know 77, 78 aja
Mhm.
itu bisa break salah satu round doang. Tapi kayak ya udah. Terus
Mmm.
gara-gara kayak so close yet so far, penasaran kan. Dan itu kan gue masih baru masuk tahun terakhir tuh di kampus.
Mhm.
Eh, jadi gue kayak enggak, gue harus NUDC lagi. Gue harus bisa beat my previous record. Terus turunlah
Mmm.
gue NUDC lagi, ikut seleksi lagi. Terus di sebelum NUDC tuh gue ikutan UEDC lagi tuh, tapi yang di Bali.
Mhm.
Nah,
Oh, ya.
di ikutan, terus break tuh di EFL. Jadi itu tim pertama Unpad lah yang break di international
Mmm.
competition. Terus kayak ye heboh lah kayak kan seru ye whatever. Terus kita kalah di EFL semifinal, terus gue EFL top 10 best speaker, biasa anaknya ambi. Jadi kayak kayaknya bisa lebih nggak sih gitu kan.
Mmm.
Terus kayak ya udah gitu. Dan at that point tuh gue karena udah mau lulus, sebenarnya udah nggak ngelihat debat sebagai oh list of things yang bisa gue masukin ke CV, tapi memang udah lebih
Mmm.
ke arah kayak oke, kalau ada orang yang bisa hobi apa kayak main musik, main golf panas-panas, kenapa gue nggak boleh hobi debat kan gitu ya. Nah,
Mhm.
jadi ya udah, terus abis UADC, NUDC, Indonesia 2015 itu tuh gila kompetitif banget kan kayak I would say one of the most competitive. Brawijayanya ada Mbak Nadia sama Haris, terus kayak UI-nya ada Deta Materi, UGM Romario Alif, terus Atma Jayanya ada Anggi Karyo, terus sinting deh. Terus
Mmm.
itu kacau banget gara-gara bener-bener stressful. Ada berapa kali tuh gue ke pull up ke top room terus kayak udah habis itu gue di giling habis-habisan lah sama Romario Alif atau Deta Teri gitu. Terus ya udah. Dan akhirnya kita masuk semifinal lagi. Dan itu tuh kayak yang paling bikin gue lumayan nyesek tuh adalah kita kalah masuk semifinal, masuk ke final di semifinal tuh split 3-2.
So
Dan
close.
wah itu tuh gila sih. Setidaknya yang tahun 2014 tuh unanimous jadi kayak oh ya udah memang memang belum gitu ya. Terus kayak
Heeh.
yang di 2015 dan kebetulan tuh gue baru aja selesai sidang jadi kayak ini benar-benar
Mmm.
kesempatan terakhir gitu kan kayak
Mmm.
masih umumin kayak ya yang pertama masuk UI terus yang kedua 3-2 split Universitas Brawijaya. I mean good for them like I'm very happy with for Mbak Nadia sama Haris kan.
Mmm.
Tapi at the time kayak waduh dikit nih. Dan dan yang paling lucu tuh adalah salah satu ejunya tuh awalnya vote ke kita, tapi akhirnya dia switch.
Ah, I see.
Jadi itu jadi running joke tiap gua ngelihat Eju ini gua kayak, "Oh, lu yang suka segalanya." But jokingly of course.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Terus abis dari situ kan gue udah lulus, Isti juga
Mhm.
sebenarnya udah mau lulus waktu itu. Jadinya kayak apalagi sih yang dikejar. Nah, setelah kita kalah, gua sama Isti kayak ya udahlah kita mungkin nggak perlu maksain buat WUDC yang di Yunani, yang di Tesaloniki gitu
Mhm.
kan. Nah, si Isti juga iya kayaknya nggak usah deh gitu. Terus gue juga udah dapat kerja at that time, jadi kayak gue
Mhm.
nggak gitu, apa namanya maksain kan di WUDC ada grace period yang 6 bulan sejak lulus
Mhm.
kan. Di malam penutupan NUDC si Isti dapat top 10 best speaker. Terus dia langsung kayak, Mar kayaknya kita Yunani deh. Itu kayak wajar. Ya udah. Terus udah kayak gitu gue kayak ya udah ayo gitu kan. Maksudnya kalau mau ayo. Dan ya udah gue WUDC Yunani itu ada drama panjang banget buat perjalanan ke sana. I think that's another story. Tapi ya udah. Terus selesai WUDC, again kita nggak break, so close yet so far again. Tapi ya udah, dan gue kira itulah momen terakhir gue sebagai speaker di debat. Dan dari 2016 itu kan WUDC technically akhir 2015 ke awal 2016. Ya udah gue kayak, kalau gue masih tetap mau di komunitas, which I still wanted to because of the friends, because of the community, of the activity itself, I enjoyed it. Jadi ya udah mungkin gue akan aktif sebagai edu aja gitu kan, sebagai judge. Dan akhirnya ya di tahun 2016 sampai 2019 gue consistently ngeju-ngeju lomba lah, baik itu kayak lomba-lomba yang dibikin sekolahan, dibikin kampus, atau yang dibikin pemerintah kayak NUDC, NSDC. Dan gue consistently lah dari tahun 2016 sampai tahun 2018 tuh gue ngeju NUDC terus, 2019 gue nggak ngeju, terus 2020 gue ngeju lagi. Masuklah COVID nih. Nah ini mulai memasuki
Iya,
cerita
benar.
kenapa gue masih mau jadi debater lagi.
Betul.
Akhirnya.
Betul, COVID.
Jadi ini kalau di film ini act 2-nya. Nah, act 2-nya gue begitu apa namanya COVID kan di rumah terus ya kayak bosan gak ada kerjaan weekend gak bisa keluar terus gue kayak ya udah kan might as well antara ngeju lomba atau iseng aja turun lomba gitu kan buat debat dan lebih banyak sih ngejunya jadi masih ngeju-ngeju terus di 2020 tuh waktu itu UADC yang online yang Bangladesh yang KUB itu score lagi open for IA application terus gue kayak why not gitu ya maksudnya nggak ada kerjaan juga ya udah gue apply waktu itu gue sadar diri lah CV gue masih banyak kan kayak nasional jadi mungkin dibandingkan sama applicant lain yang CV-nya lebih tebal gue kayak ya udah gue nggak minta subsidi deh gue nggak minta remunerasi gitu terus ya udah nah gitu kan udah terus ternyata kalau UADC itu kan sistem breaking as a judge-nya purely numerical kan jadi based on feedback nggak based on edge core discretion like any other competition jadi purely numerical. Terus ya udah, gue ternyata break dan waktu itu gue ngeju sampai octo final dan begitu udah break UADC itu kan regional major ya hitungannya kayak kalau
Ya.
di Australasia we have UADC, OSOS, and MVP. CV gue lumayan ke-boost lah gara-gara itu. Nah, sejak saat itu gue ngeju lomba-lomba di luar dari Indonesia, kayak di luar tuh gampang lah dapatnya. Jadi gue generate CV while also getting money. Nah, terus setelah gue ngeju, itu kan kayak peaknya of debating karena apa ya, accessible banget gitu kan ya. Kayak you can just participate in competition. Sekarang competitionnya juga jauh lebih murah. Terus bahkan ada yang free segala macam. Jadinya gue fell in love again with the activity. Karena jadi edge itu menurut gue kompleksitasnya lumayan berbeda lah. Because you really have to listen to different cultures and also different like ways of approaching cases. And it really stimulated my way of thinking to the point that this is worth it to like make this a hobby again and that's it. Terus masuklah periode di mana gue harus S2 tuh di Amerika. Waktu gue S2, berarti kan opsi lomba gue makin luas nih. Gue bisa memasuki
Benar.
lomba Western yang time zone-nya kalau gue di Indo itu agak kejam. Kalau di Amerika mungkin lebih bisa gue sesuaikan. Mulailah gue ngeju-ngeju lomba di sana. Jadi gue ngeju lomba di Yale, gue ngeju lomba di Hart House, gue ngeju lomba di Oxford, dan in like mostly masih online. Terus akhirnya dan gue consistently break terus, thankfully. Jadinya ya makin banyak exposure, I got to make new friends as well. Dan akhirnya gue di tahun 2022 itu gue apply buat jadi IA di Belgrade Worlds, terus keterima, terus break, and it was pretty crazy karena kan break apa ya history of breaking for Indonesian judges tuh nggak banyak banget dan I'm very happy to have like represented the community more. Terus abis Belgrade WUDC masuk WSDC. Nah waktu itu gue masih unaffiliated technically, tapi tim WSDC itu kan harus ngirim apa namanya national judge atau kayak tim judge kayak
Hmm.
NOC lah.
Hmm,
Nah,
hmm, hmm, hmm.
mereka nyari orang, terus coachnya at the time, head coach at the time tuh Upi, reach out to me, and I
Mm-mm.
was like, sure, why not? Karena time zone-nya works, it doesn't clash with my academics at Columbia
Mm-mm.
at that time. So I did it, and then I broke also. I judged until the semifinals, and then I get to be more immersed. Like gila anak-anak SMA zaman sekarang ya kayak gitulah gitu. Terus gue kayak makin tertarik. Nah, di waktu yang bersamaan itu udah mulai masuk buat WUDC yang 2023 yang di Madrid. Terus gue kayak
Mm-mm.
target gue tuh adalah gue mau, maksud gue udah gak ada lagi yang gue kejar kasarnya kan gitu ya. Jadi kayak gue mau menggunakan CV gue untuk bisa ke WUDC biar gue bisa jalan-jalan ke negara-negara yang otherwise gue mungkin nggak akan pernah ke sana gitu.
Hmm.
Dan kayak kalau Madrid ya mungkin gue akan ke Spanyol suatu saat, tapi kan kalau dapat subsidi kan lumayan ya gitu. Jadi gue apply terus keterima, terus ya udah gue ngeju di Madrid tuh. Nah pas gue ngeju di Madrid kan tim Indonesia tuh lumayan rame ya. Dan lumayan banyak juga tuh yang achieving kayak di ITB tuh ada Han sama Marvin tuh sampai ESL semifinal, terus ada Bobby sama Batara juga sampai ESL semifinal. Terus gue kayak wah Indo keren ya sekarang gitu kan. Karena kayak dulu zaman-zaman kita kali ya Mbak ya, kayak breaking tuh mungkin cuma satu atau dua tim gitu. Tapi ini
Benar.
kayak dan biasanya kan mentok di EFL. Meskipun ada yang ESL aja kayak zaman Deta Terry dulu atau sebelumnya juga udah,
Hmm.
tapi kan nggak rame gitu ya. Terus jadi kayak gue ngerasa oh tim Indo keren ya sekarang karena kan exposure gue limitnya tuh judging doang. Jadi gue mungkin nggak tahu
Mm-mm.
mereka latihan kayak gimana, mereka
Betul.
develop themselves tuh kayak gimana. Terus ya udah gue akhirnya ngobrol-ngobrol segala macam. Terus akhirnya di Madrid itu juga kebetulan gue diallocate buat ngeju di ESL final. Nah,
Mm.
it was a huge deal karena the way the international debating community itu would trust your credentials as a judge itu biasanya ngelihat lo udah pernah ngeju di mana aja, lo ngeju sejauh apa, itu terus competitionnya segede apa. Jadi obviously the more
Mm.
competitors are there, the more competitive you are as a judge. Dan
Mm.
jadinya kalau lu udah diallocate di WUDC Finals, any of the finals, EFL, ESL Open, itu ya udah kayak you're among the trusted judges international. Dan
Mm.
itu yang ngejelasin konsepnya ke gue adalah UPI, terus gue kayak sorry gimana, kayak apakah aku ternyata punya CV itu gitu kan. Terus well I got the opportunity and it really opened a lot of doors for me. Karena abis itu gue ikut UADC buat jadi DCA, gue keterima. Terus buat jadi ABP
Mm.
gue juga keterima, jadi Australs DCA gue juga keterima. Jadi kayak benar open a lot of doors for me in terms of like opportunities and then represent Indonesia more again. But then kenapa gue mau debatnya itu di Madrid. Jadi waktu di Madrid itu
Mm.
ngobrol-ngobrol lah sama Bobby sama Batara. Terus Bobby kayak kayak masih merasa bahwa kayak we is like Indonesia can do
Mm.
more. Terus kayak ya gue bilang ya lo sama Batara udah keren lah, maksudnya udah sampai sini. Terus kayak no but we can do more. Terus gue kayak gimana kalau lo debat? Jadi waktu itu kayak intinya itu adalah satu percakapan banyol aja yang kayak Mar lo nggak mau debat lagi emang kayak Indonesia would have a lot of chance if you debate again. Terus gue kayak gimana caranya gue udah selesai Columbia at that time.
Mm.
Gue juga udah selesai. Terus kayak kata Bobby binus aja. Tapi gue tuh mikir kan kayak kenapa sih ngapain gue kuliah lagi for the sake of debat doang gitu.
Mm.
Tapi setelah percakapan itu gue kayak kayaknya seru deh kalau gue debat lagi. And it's more about gue rindu
Mm.
debat, gue rindu speaking, and I feel like Omar di WUDC 2016 dibandingkan dengan Omar di WUDC kapanpun itu at that time ketika gue berpikir pasti akan lebih canggih deh dengan semua
Sih.
ilmu yang udah gue gather dari judging, dari lihat orang-orang dari berbagai negara gitu kan. Terus gue consider, you know what, why not? Dan ini lumayan sejalan sama karir gue, karena I skip the part where I explain that gue di Columbia itu kuliahnya Human Capital Management,
Mm.
basically HR. Gue udah banting setir dari accounting, jauh banget. Terus gue
Iya
HR.
benar.
Jadi gue S2 tuh buat equip my HR, tapi selagi gue kerja juga di kantor gue at that time, gue merasa HR zaman sekarang itu kan lebih ke arah mostly digitalized, right? We need to make sure that every process is automated, to make sure that everything is efficient. Jadi, dan itu lebih ke arah frustasi kalau gue butuh tools untuk satu HR proses, vendor yang gue harus ngajak ngomong tuh banyak banget, segala macam. Jadinya,
Hmm.
sementara gue kan kayak, gue mau fitur ini, tapi harganya jangan mahal-mahal ya, karena kan gue juga
Mm-mm,
harus
mm-mm,
lapor ke bos gue. Tapi kan kayak itu ideal banget ya. Jadinya gue ngerasa, wouldn't it be great if an HR professional have the understanding of the tech side, like dari sisi developmentnya atau dari sisi apa namanya kayak knowledge aja deh. Jadi akhirnya gue ngerasa actually kalau gue enroll di BINUS lagi, gue mau ambil jurusan yang complement what I already have. Jadi ya gue ambil
mm.
sistem informasi karena menurut gue itu penting buat gue tahu proses, gue tahu flow, dan gue bisa ngomong sama orang tech tanpa harus kelihatan kayak cuma klien yang ngamuk-ngamuk gue mau ini gitu. And I
Mm.
think it's good. Jadi akhirnya gue ya udah apply aja dan gue kuliah, gue ngerjain tugas ribet banget ternyata ya. Sistem informasi susah, terus kayak otak gue kan udah tua, udah nggak bisa keep up. Tapi anyway, um, masuklah Act 3 decision kenapa akhirnya kita
Mm.
masuk ke UDC gitu. Nah ya udah karena gue udah enroll, ngobrol lah sama Binek, yaitu kayak si klub debatnya. Basically it's English
Mm-mm.
club, debate is part of it, di BINUS. Terus gue tapi satu hal yang pengen gue make sure itu adalah gue mau turun WUDC, and it would be great kalau kalian mau funding kita. Tapi gue nggak mau kalau gue berangkat, it would take away the spaces that otherwise would have been for other people, terutama
Mm.
buat junior-junior. Dan akhirnya mereka ngelakuin seleksi, mereka ngelakuin kayak ya promosi lah buat EUDC karena BINUS serius tuh buat mau funding segala macam. Unfortunately, junior gak ada yang mau at that time. Dan at that
Mm.
time tuh kayak kan Batara tuh yang lumayan aktif ngelatih ya di bineknya. Kalau gue kan kayak ya udah
Mm.
member aja hitungannya. Jadi I'm
Mm.
not really sure about the dynamics, but basically at the time no one was interested to participate in Worlds, and because of that, gue sama Bobby kayak ya udah let's seize this opportunity, and karena binusnya juga mau bayarin, why not? Ya udah akhirnya kita ikut. Um, before that kita juga ikut banyak lomba like prep tournaments
Mm.
gitu online mostly, and then we won some, we got best speakers titles in some, terus jadi kayak binus makin semangat kayak ya udah let's fund them.
Mm.
Kayak dua tim fully funded, dan itu tim gue sama Bobby dan satu lagi tim Hans dan Batara. Kalau Hans kan memang juga
Mm.
binus lagi karena memang pengen ngambil ilmu komputer kan. Terus kita ya udah kita prep, kita turun, kita ikut, dan akhirnya kayak gitu aja sebenarnya ceritanya, lebih ke arah gara-gara gue kayaknya haven't fully moved on from this activity. Terus this
Mm.
activity keeps drawing me in. I like the people. I like the actual activity itself. I really miss speaking. I think that speaking really brings light to me. Like it really feels like I'm a completely different person, or I would say I'm a better person whenever I'm speaking because I really enjoy the intellectual aspect of it. Jadinya I decided to do what I did. Sorry banget nih panjang banget, tapi
That's
konteks
okay.
as
That's
debater,
okay.
konteks is important.
Correct. Agree. Agree. Nah, um, berarti to make it clear, jadi basically Omar dan Bobby ini itu tidak turun di NUDC sebagai perwakilan BINUS ya. But
Nope,
you guys directly went to the WUDC dengan dibiayai oleh BINUSnya, seperti itu ya.
betul.
Kalau
Karena
gitu,
ya, sorry.
that's okay, that's okay. Berarti kalau gitu yang turun NUDC atas nama BINUS waktu itu tim Batara atau nggak ada juga?
Jadi ada namanya Regina, terus satu lagi namanya siapa ya?
Ah.
I forgot. Nah, sayangnya kalau nggak salah tuh Regina sama Hafidnya, they did well in the, gue lupa namanya siapa, maaf ya kalau ternyata nama lo bukan
Mhm.
Hafid. Tapi intinya mereka tuh did well in the NUDC regional. Jadi gue mungkin clarify dulu.
Mmm,
Itu kan peraturannya sangat ketat ya, kayak
ya,
harus semester berapa, harus umur berapa.
betul.
Makanya gue sama Bobby memang nggak bisa, dan kita juga nggak mau take that space kalaupun bisa, karena
Mhm,
banyak yang lebih berhak dan lebih perlu gitu ya. Nah, tim BINUS yang waktu itu ikutan NUDC regionalnya, I think they did very well, tapi mereka mundur di tingkat nasional. Jadi di nasional
Oh.
nggak ada tim BINUS,
Karena
unfortunately.
sempet seliweran juga kayak, why Omar and Bobby still, got into WUDC. Mereka kayaknya skip cerita kalau basically Omar, Bobby, Hans, dan juga Batara ini itu nggak ngikutin NUDC tingkat nasionalnya, tapi kalian langsung pergi ke WUDC-nya dibiayain oleh BINUS gitu ya. Jadi kayak,
Dan,
akhirnya clear gitu. But,
dan sorry,
mmm,
gue mau nambahin dua hal di
iya ya.
situ. Kayak,
Ah,
I think it's
boleh silakan.
I think it's impossible buat gue turun NUDC tahun itu because I was the chief adjudicator, so that's number one. And then number two, I think ini juga miskonsepsi di Indonesia ya. Kalau kita ngelihat keluar, itu tuh di WUDC banyak banget yang turun tuh S2, S3. Dan
Hmm,
contoh kayak di Vietnam WUDC yang gue turun, yang 2024, itu tuh
hmm,
finalisnya salah satunya kan dari Belgrade. Salah satu speakernya
hmm.
is a friend of mine namanya Ilya. Ilya is older than me. Um, terus waktu di Vietnam juga top breaking team itu kan dari Tel Aviv, Tamar and Hadar. Tamar
Ya,
is my
Tamar dan Hadar.
Tamar is my age. So I think like there's this misconception that debaters are only for like anak-anak S1 yang kayak gimana segala macam.
True.
When it's like very much a varsity debate that everyone who's still in technically enrolled in university can participate, and a lot of people outside actually are just like that too. So yeah.
Soalnya aku juga pernah tahu, di WUDC itu kalau nggak salah tim Oxford atau tim mana gitu juga emang yang diturunin tuh yang orang-orang S2. That's why actually aku pengen konfirmasi itu sebenarnya, tapi sudah kamu jawab. Kalau misalnya ternyata di Indonesia ini emang yang ternyata banyak misconception. Nah, tapi Omar, aku juga pengen make it clear, berarti di sana itu oke, S2 atau misalnya tim yang older dan bachelor degree itu apa mereka harus affiliate ke tetap harus affiliate ke salah satu university atau mereka bisa affiliate as alumni atau gimana, Mar?
Yes, they have to still be enrolled. Mereka harus directly affiliated. Jadi nggak
Hmm.
bisa kayak kalau alumni balik lagi tadi grace period yang 6 bulan ya. Tapi kayak sebenarnya regardless, yang penting harus directly affiliated.
Hmm. I see. Jadi semoga ini sudah make things clear ya. But kamu pernah nggak sih dalam kondisi kayak kayak tadi ya, seperti si konteks tadi, ada nggak sih orang-orang yang akhirnya salty dengan apa yang udah kamu achieve gitu? Kayak, kayaknya kita bisa deh do better. Atau apapun deh, komentar-komentar salty kayak gitu. And how you handle that kind of situation, Mat?
Eh, gue nggak pernah dengar. I'm pretty sure kalau kalau masalah orang ngomongin, gue firmly believe in a konsep adalah lo mau orang jadi sebaik apapun, there will always be people who will talk bad about you. Jadi tujuan gue buat do whatever I want to do is not to gain praise and it's not to
Hmm.
gain affirmation from everyone else. I do it because I like it, and I do it for me. And if what I do itu ternyata membawa banyak manfaat lah ataupun banyak kontribusi-kontribusi positif lainnya ke komunitas atau ke anything that is larger than me, then that's good.
Hmm. Oh.
Jadi gue nggak gitu ambil pusing sama orang-orang yang komen-komen apapun, because like I said, no matter how good you are, there will always be people that who will comment negatively about what you have been doing or what you have achieved. So yeah, but to answer your question directly, I don't think there was anyone that ever said to my face that
Hmm.
something like that. So yeah, but I think it's normal. I think it's human nature to talk bad. I am not trying to normalize it though, but I'm trying to say that like sometimes just be in the present, be in the moment. Just don't care about all the bad stuff. Care about the opinions of those who matter.
Um, Yang aku observe bahwasanya debater itu banyak circulate around the X or Twitter ya. Nah, kamu suka nggak sih bacain kayak what happened in our debating right now? For example, kayak kejadian Jovet 2019 itu kan circulate a lot ya di X saat itu. Nah, kamu tipikal orang yang ngikutin nggak sih kayak, aduh ada update drama apa nih di debat kayak gitu nggak sih? Atau kamu tipikal yang ya udah sih terserah gitu?
Well, at that time, like I would say sebelum 2022, dan ini jadi konteks yang penting, itu gue sih nggak ambil pusing karena kayak, you know, drama is like taking a lot of your headspace, taking a lot of everything. Tapi sejak 2022, dan ini jadi penting, karena kan gue di-appoint jadi coach buat WSDC, itu akhir 2022, around December, dan terus di situ juga di sejak tahun 2023 kan gue CA buat NUDC dan NSDC, dan
Hmm.
dan mungkin lebih ke arah kenapa gue mau tetap jadi CA all of this national competition, karena gue
Mm,
really believe in standardization, dan gue percaya if we really want as a community to succeed even further in the international stage, kita butuh mindset yang sama dengan international stage, sehingga standarisasi baik itu dari sisi
mm,
gimana sih cara approach debate, gimana sih cara approach motions, dan most importantly
mm,
gimana cara kita jadi edu, maksudnya what is the accepted standards of judging nowadays. Nah, sejak tahun 2000, akhir 2022 itu sampai sekarang, gue jadi harus peduli development, dan I think dalam artian I need to know siapa nih orang-orang yang menurut gue, let's say for example, bisa menjadi perwakilan baik untuk daerahnya masing-masing. For example,
uh,
for example, gue akan sangat reserve untuk invite orang yang misalnya udah ketahuan untuk mengencourage cheating behavior. Kalau misalnya udah kayak
mm,
gitu, ya well gue juga nggak mau ada standar judging kayak gitu ataupun standar behavior kayak gitu
mm,
in competition that I believe is necessary to elevate our community to a larger scale.
mm,
So
mm, mm,
I need to know sometimes, and I feel like it's good to know, especially if you're in the Indonesia debating Facebook group, you would see like a lot of um,
mm,
controversies, right? And it's very important to create this community, not only like a thriving community in terms of like we can be successful in debating, but we also have to be successful at being human beings, which means that
mm,
um, we need to make sure that we can isolate people who are bringing destruction or well kesannya
mm,
kayak perang. Tapi maksud gue more like behaviors that really are not aligned with what we are speaking about. For example,
yeah,
like grooming, like minor protection or things like that. Those are things that I hold dear. And I think that we speak a lot about this in debate, and we have to be a reflection of that. So it's important to know all of these updates so then we can make sure that whoever is invited into like a larger scale itu bisa represent those values and would eventually
mm,
not cause any sort of apa ya kayak some unwanted environment or
mm,
toxicity in the environment. So I hope that answers
mm.
the question.
Yeah, yeah, that's answer my questions. Okay, thank you, Omar. So here again, talking about the community, and as we saw also in the debating group that recently there was a case about child grooming. Sebenarnya, dan aku di situ melihat ya, kalau misalnya Omar secara tegas udah nge-confront orangnya secara langsung dengan defend yang dia punya. Um, Gimana ya caranya? I mean, this not only happen in debating community, tapi kan juga happen ya di tempat-tempat lain. Dan korban-korbannya pun juga masih takut-takut nih kalau mau cerita. Especially for us, debating community, critical thinking, gimana ya supaya caranya kita tuh bisa nge-provide um, safety space buat mereka ketika mereka ngalamin hal tersebut gitu kayak kemana sih mereka ini harus ngomong hal ini dan ke siapa nih gitu karena walaupun kita komunitas, nggak semua orang juga bisa diceritain hal-hal seperti ini ya. Tapi at least aku pengen tahu nih kalau dari Omar, if there's something happen with them, dan itu ketika mereka join di community, sebaiknya mereka ini harus kemana dan harus seperti apa, Omar?
Um, Menurut gua, like you said, Mbak, ini kan memang hal yang nggak terjadi cuma di komunitas debat, dan ini udah deeply embedded in our culture. Like budaya kita yang harus differing to the elderly atau siapapun yang lebih tua, budaya nggak enakan, budaya-budaya iya-iya aja. Apalagi kayak budaya manipulasi tuh yang kayak terutama dari orang in position of power ke orang-orang yang mungkin lebih muda gitu atau yang in lesser position of power, itu kan lebih sulit. So menurut gua, obviously what I'm saying will not solve everything. Otherwise,
Right.
I would be a Nobel Prize winner. But I think yang pertama tuh adalah it's number one untuk para victim. The most important thing that I would like, and if this reaches out to anyone who has been in that position, first of all, I'm sorry that it happened to you. But secondly, it's normal to feel like you are being excluded and there's no one that you can trust. But the thing that I can say is that there are people in the Indonesian debating circuit that cares a lot about this. So those are the people that you can see on the Facebook group yang either the original poster or honestly, I'm not saying that
Mhm.
I'm a saint or anything, but I I would like to believe that I can be able to handle this like an adult. So if you have anything that you would like to like reach out to, is I can also help, and then you can
Mm,
also reach out to like a lot of people that you can trust. Secondly, kalau mau cari yang independen di luar dari komunitas debat, karena mungkin kayak nanti menyebar lah segala
mm,
macam, which is normal karena that is a part of like the culture, right? Intimidation and victimization.
mm,
So I think it's important to look for LSM, terutama di daerah-daerah lokal, dan itu banyak banget tuh di X. Nah, so I think atau di X ataupun sebenarnya kayak delik aduan tuh juga lumayan banyak yang bisa provide help, even though not immediate. So kalau concernnya memang tidak immediate, I think that mengajukan delik aduan ataupun ke LSM that could work. Tapi kalau memang
mm,
butuh safe space immediately to the point that sampai harus membutuhkan kayak assistance karena mungkin juga nggak tahu LSM mana yang mau di reach out, apakah perlu ke bantuan hukum atau segala macam, then look for, I would say, revered ataupun figureheads in the community right now. And I would
mm,
like to believe that I'm one of them, and I'm more than happy to like be the voice of change and be the voice for the victim. So I think that's in terms of like the individual level. In terms of the next level, which I think is more important, itu adalah bystander culture. Dan menurut gue ini yang paling penting, karena there's so many stories that I've heard about like people saying that kayaknya itu orang kayak gini, tapi kayak
mm,
how do we know, right? Kenapa kita bisa tahu segala macam udah menyebar, and then tipikal orang Indonesia juga udah rahasia umum gitu kan, tapi
mm,
kok membenarkan. Dan I think menurut gue ini juga sebuah a result of like social media trends karena kan kayak just like the Me Too movement back in the day, like when more and more victims speak out. I think only recently that we are able to hear more because more and more victims are brave enough, which is kudos to them because I know that it's very hard. So I think if you ever heard anything, especially if you're an adult, it's very important for you to also not be a bystander. You need to call out the person that you know are in the wrong, or at least
mm,
report them, get other help. Especially if you're an adult, you would have that ability to do it. Because konsep paling penting itu adalah ya udah, if it involves like a consensual relationship, great. But obviously, if it's with a minor, it's not consensual. So
mm,
if you've heard all of these stories, then gather evidence and just like make sure that you get in touch with the right person. I think this is the most important part because I'm not gonna lie, the post that we saw on Indonesia Debated
mm,
itu ada beberapa orang yang reach out ke di original posternya,
mm,
nanya kenapa nggak di resolve personally aja.
mm,
So
mm, mm,
as
mm,
if
mm.
like they are trying to, oh kasihan tuh si that person gitu
Orang
kan,
ini.
kayak
Mm,
orang-orang ini. Well, it could be another scenario, but why do we need to put more pity on someone who already admitted that they are doing something that they shouldn't be doing? So I just feel like, no, this mentality needs to change. And as a bystander, we really need to step up, because if we're not doing anything, then we are equally in the wrong. So I think that's the second thing. And thirdly, ya buat orang-orang aja ya, kayak just, apalagi buat, let's say, perpetrator or whatever it is, whatever the word that we're looking for, you will be found out. Just so you know. So just be a decent person and do not do things that you're not supposed to be doing. Like, that's it. Tapi menurut
Mm,
gue yang
mm,
paling
mm.
delicate pasti adalah terkait victim. Gue tahu it's very hard to like speak up. It's very hard to reach out to people, and you know that you cannot really like trust anyone. But that's what they would like you to believe, that there's no one else that you can trust other than them. So whenever you recognize like a manipulation cycle or an abusive cycle, break that cycle by reaching out to people immediately the moment you realize it. Just don't delay it. I know that it's not like we are putting the expectation and the pressure on the victim, especially in a system, in a culture, in a legal system where victims are probably not the priority. But that's why that self awareness is important, and then reach out to people that you believe can help you. I think that's my take.
Thank you, Omar. And also, this is implemented to the bullying case supposedly. So just speak up, right? Speak up to the right person, so the right person can bridging the communication within the community and so on and so forth. And also, not gonna lie, in debating community, sometimes we also have some conflict with one and another. And also, let's say, like, disappointed about the decision, or perhaps about the committee, about the rules, and so on and so forth. But how do you see this kind of conflict? Perhaps some of them can get back together as a friend after the conflict, but some of them just left as an enemy. But you personally, how you handle disappointment in, let's say, in judges' decision, or in, let's say, a committee, or yeah, something like more technical.
Okay, this is interesting karena I've been on both sides. Kalau sebagai orang yang, apalagi di WUDC Panama kemarin tuh gue equity kan,
Mm,
jadi any komplain tuh
mm,
kan lewatnya ke gue juga. Jadi I know how it
benar,
feels.
benar.
So, kalau gue pribadi, um, kalau misalnya let's say gue nggak setuju ataupun gue ada some sort of like, ya nggak setuju lah ya. I think karena udah gede juga, udah dewasa, I guess. I feel like konflik yang nggak necessary kayaknya nggak perlu dijabanin deh. Jadi dalam artian tuh adalah, okay, I'm not happy with the result, but I will not want to let them know that they didn't do a great job, because I know in that position, I feel like if I was in their shoes, and I have been in their shoes, it's not a nice thing to say. What you can do adalah, ya udah, as usual, you can submit feedback, you can just like let the information yang penting tuh ya nyalurnya ke orang yang perlu dengar. Karena lo mau misuh-misuh, lo mau kayak ngamuk-ngamuk, kayak kan gue udah ngomong ini segala macam. Decision has been made, what can I do? Dan one of my personal motto in life itu adalah, what you cannot control, stop overthink. What you can control, do your best. Can I control
Mm,
the decision that has been made? No, I cannot do that.
no. Mm,
What I can control is just submit feedback, explain my disappointment, but constructively. I do not want to just like, this judge sucks or whatever, and just say that
mm,
these are the things that I appreciate from the OA, but these are the things that I believe could have been done better. Karena kalau gue balik lagi, empati itu kan penting dan buat kita bisa put ourselves in different shoes. Kalau gue
mm,
jadi Eju, yang mau gue dengar tuh adalah, ya, lo nggak perlu berate me for my decision. So it's just like, if you have any questions, let me know. Kan kayak gitu aja.
mm,
Kalau gue
benar.
jadi edge core, yang gue pengen tahu kan adalah ini Eju sebenarnya kayak gimana. Jadi holistic description itu lebih penting buat gue dibandingkan gue ngomong kayak bad judging. It doesn't help the edge core as well. So I was like, this is why the judging is not great. For example, the weighing lah, the like, oh mungkin ada bias. I would explain that rather than just say that keep
Hmm.
judging whatever. So I think that is the best way to approach disappointment because disappointments will
Mm-mm.
happen. Like it's life, people. You are bound to be disappointed. You're not like some billionaire that will have everything that they want in life. So there's that. Dan itu yang buat handle disappointment. Terus tadi ada pertanyaan lain deh. Apa ya? Nih, kebanyakan nih hobi yapping gini nih. Lupa.
Udah kok, kejawab.
Gimana?
Jadi kayak how you handle disappointment in debate, kayak ya itu tadi decision ataupun misalnya comedy or anything. Jadi kalau dari Omar itu lebih ke arah ya udah direct aja gitu, hadepin aja ya apa yang bisa disampaikan dan bisa dikontrol, do your best gitu. Ya kalau nggak bisa
Iya.
dikontrol, ya sudah, mulailah
Dan
diterima gitu.
betul. Dan mungkin yang paling seru itu adalah what if the judge is my friend and then the judge is bad, like the judging is bad.
Hmm.
And I would say that, well, if you cannot really separate friendship and any other like professional ataupun itu, yeah, well,
Hmm.
that's part of adulting. So I think that yang paling penting adalah kita harus bisa ngemisahin kan kayak when do I need to put on my friendship face, when do I need to be professional about things. Like when they are judging you as a judge, not judging you as their friend. So if you
Hmm.
feel like you take it
Correct.
personally, then I'm sorry, it's also something that you need to work on as an individual, as a person. And if you really feel like misalnya judgingnya seburuk itu, I think the best way is to talk to them as an
Hmm.
adult, like
Ya.
as any other person would. Like, hey, if you really appreciate that friendship and if you think that the judging like ruins your friendship in a way, which I think is very petty, and I don't think it should happen, but if it happens, have a conversation like a normal person would. It helps.
Hmm, 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 hmm. Hmm, 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 hmm. Nah, kadang nih ini tuh happen di debater-debater muda ya, waktu mereka awal-awal kenal debat. I don't know if you felt too, but I've been in that position yang kayak gue nggak semestinya kalah nih. Nih Ju nih emang deh nih gitu. Ya kan, pasti kita sudah melewati masa-masa itu sampai akhirnya yang kayak kalau diinget-inget lagi tuh kayak ya ampun malu banget emang jelek
Asli.
anjay gitu.
Aduh.
Momen-momen refleks tuh kayak kenapa gue sok kebagusan padahal emang nggak bagus.
Yeah, I've been there.
Parah. Ya
Malu
kan? Jadi
sekarang.
kayak bener, udah dewasa tuh kayak, aduh kayaknya kalau harus ngomong ke debater muda kayak, sudah jangan protes dulu, dipikir dulu. Dipikir dulu udah bener apa belum. Tenang. Sebelum malu sampai tua nanti.
Betul.
Nah, I also saw your post in Indonesia debating about the coach fee controversy. Can you make it clear here kayak sebenarnya waktu itu kamu pingin nge-address isu apa sih Mar dan apa yang basically pingin kamu bantu atau kamu improve dari isu yang lagi kamu address saat itu?
Nah, to be clear, gue nggak against coaching fee yang apa ya? Karena gue kayak gini. If you have the credentials dan lo memang ngerasa kayak ini adalah worth gue dan ada orang yang mau bayar lo segitu, that's good for you. And I think that
Mm-mm.
is great, that is amazing because we need people to realize that coaching fee itu nggak harus standar karena itu akan
Standar betul.
ruin the market gitu ya. Karena people should be valued differently as well and it depends on itu. Makanya kayak di inisiatif yang gue bikin tuh adalah dan yang to be honest, if anyone is listening, I haven't really touched it lately because I've been very busy. I'm sorry, but I will check. But again, it's a one-person thing, so apologize. But the point is, gue cuma kan gue kerja headhunter ya Mbak. Lo kan dulu juga pernah kan
Iya,
di
betul,
bisnis itu.
betul.
Ya udah, jadi gue
Headhunter.
mengkonekkan orang dengan rate sekian dengan orang yang mau bayar mereka di rate segitu gitu. Jadi
Hmm.
sebenarnya itu aja. Tapi isu yang mau gue address tuh sebenarnya adalah I've heard stories about people like complaining that bukan komplain lebih ke arah kayak we found out there are like very questionable coaching expectations like yang encouraging cheating behavior, yang encouraging behaviors what
Hmm.
spill things that should not be spilled, for example. Jadi ya there's a certain coach that came to mind yang waktu itu sempat cause, I believe, like quite a
Mm-mm.
controversy. But basically, I was just trying to address the situation like people do not let, again, manipulators make you believe that lo cuma punya mereka sebagai opsi. We have like
Mm.
so amazing people in the circuit yang with amazing credentials yang mungkin lo bisa reach out to, karena ujung-ujungnya lo coaching kan buat diri lo sendiri ya. Lo butuh buat
Betul.
something yang gue mau jadi a better debater, gue mau jadi a better communicator, public speaker, whatever it is. So you deserve coaches that can truly help you develop in those areas, not coaches who are charging you a lot of money but only to encourage behaviors that are not helpful for you. Tapi
Mm.
kan baik lagi, when people in positions of power try to make you believe that you don't have any other option,
Mm.
best for you, those are the things that I would like to address. Makanya inisiatif gue adalah
Mm.
address that juga kan. Jadi kayak there are a lot of options dan tujuan gue tuh adalah ini ada coach, rate-nya segini sesuai sama yang lo bisa, credentials mereka ini mau atau enggak. Kalau mereka bilang, oh mau ngobrol dulu, dan ada beberapa kok yang udah gue connectin waktu itu,
Mm.
yang kayak oke ngobrol dulu aja boleh, cocok, lanjut, selesai. Good.
Mm.
Ya benar-benar konsen
Mm.
kota, you know.
Keluarga Hunter ya, ya, ya.
Iya.
Oh, jadi berarti waktu itu sebenarnya addressing-nya adalah people with untrusted credentials, poaching, debating community di suatu tempat, dan
Ya,
charging-nya gila-gilaan gitu ya.
dan yang diajar tuh juga nggak inline sama the standards that the international debate.
Hmm,
Maksud gue tuh adalah, look, NSDC itu kan at least for the few years kan memang persiapan buat WSDC gitu ya. Ya berarti
betul,
standar yang harus kita pakai adalah standar WSDC. Makanya gue
betul.
di tiap lomba-lomba ini briefingnya tuh gue sesuaiin sama briefing WUDC atau WSDC. Gue bikin manual tuh publicly accessible. It's document yang lebih kayak panjang banget 30-40 halaman yang gue bikin sendiri. Tujuan tuh adalah so people can learn that these are the expectations. Tapi ada aja kan yang
Hmm,
kayak Kak, tapi aku diajarin sama coach aku tuh kalau motionnya
kayak
kayak
gini
gini,
gitu ya.
kayak gini. Kayak, no, that's wrong. That's literally against the manual. And I just feel like, dan ini manualnya ataupun briefingnya tuh jelas loh. Dan waktu gue NUDC regional, despite beberapa kali bilang, atau NSDC misalnya kayak, jangan nyontek. Ya, ketahuan aja deh nyontek pakai AI lah misalnya segala macam. Dan
Iya bener lagi.
dan sadly ada aja yang kayak di-encourage sama coachnya karena for these people maybe what they
Hmm,
care more about is their own reputation rather than their team's actual success. So I feel like you don't deserve to be manipulated by that person
mm,
in order for you to
mm, mm, mm,
greatness. You don't need to do all of this nasty stuff in order for you to achieve greatness. And that's unfortunate. Baik lagi, positions of power, nyontek aja, jadinya nurut
mm,
macam.
mm,
That's what
mm,
I feel like. That's the issue that I want to address. You deserve to
mm,
have this. That again, kalau lo memang sanggup bayar mahal, go ahead, good for you. But
mm,
sure that these people that you are paying are they have you in their best interest. That's what I'm trying
mm.
to.
Hmm, Nah, semoga ini nge-clear-in ya permasalahan yang waktu itu sempat simpang siur tentang fee kontroversi. Jadi sebenarnya kayak it's up to you how many money that you want to make, but please make sure that it is in line with the, let's say, with WSDC standard or anything that in line with debating community as well.
Ya, dan gue juga dengar kayak, oh ada coach ini dibayar mahal banget. Terus gue kayak bilang kayak, good for her, good for them. Karena ya, her, them, his, whatever. Good for those people because they have the credentials and I support
Mm,
it. Karena kayak mereka berhak karena CV-nya oke, pentolannya banyak banget. Ya wajar kalau dia minta
mm,
mahal. Kayak kalau memang
mm, mm, mm.
komplainnya lebih ke arah mahal banget, gue nggak bisa bayar. I'm sorry, you're not the market.
Ya, ya, benar,
Beda
benar, benar.
sama gue bayar mahal, tapi gue dapetnya ini. Nah, itu beda.
Hmm, benar.
Itu.
Oke, oke. Thank you Omar for the clarification. And then sekarang ini kan Omar itu ngelatih di Cina juga kan ya, di Shanghai, right?
Yes.
Nah, apakah Omar juga megang kayak Daud nih, anak-anak kecil yang kelas 3, kelas 4 SD, atau kamu lebih besar nih yang dipegang?
Yes, jadi gue ngelatih dari at least di semester yang sekarang, gue ngelatih dari anak-anak kelas 5, berarti umur 10-11,
Kelas 5.
sampai anak-anak SMA umur 15-16 lah. Jadi range cukup
Hmm.
gede.
Kamu ngerasa ada perbedaan pola pikir nggak sih sama anak-anak SMA di Indonesia yang kamu coach dengan anak-anak SMA di Cina yang kamu coach?
Kalau anak-anak SMA-nya kayaknya enggak, mungkin gara-gara enggak ada lah ya, maksudnya kayak cultural juga, karena most of my
Hmm,
students
hmm,
adalah either international students yang kayak, maksudnya anak-anak apa sih kok gue belibet, anak-anak international schools gitu kan, jadi
hmm.
exposure mereka kan lumayan western, tapi mereka juga
Oh,
tinggalnya di China, jadi tetap ada Eastern roots yang
oke.
ground them gitu kan. Jadi kayaknya mereka jauh lebih expose aja karena memang buat anak-anak SMA yang gue latih, either mostly international school atau bilingual
Hmm,
school student. Jadi exposure mereka tuh cukup diverse dalam artian um, mereka juga sistem sekolahnya beda kan sama sistem sekolah di Indonesia gitu. At least
hmm,
ya, tapi ya kalau kita ngomongin international school students di Indonesia ya mungkin sama aja jadinya. Exposure-nya menurut gue
hmm,
beda. Tapi kalau kita ngomongin kayak mindset-nya, mungkin itu jauh perbedaan yang paling jauhnya lebih ke arah how they perceive apa ya debate. Karena jujur aja students gue
hmm,
ini cukup cukup diverse dalam artian
hmm,
ada yang ngelihat debat sebagai ya gue memang pengen masuk misalnya tim China. Ada yang
hmm,
misalnya gue mau debat, gue nggak peduli, nggak gitu peduli sama tim China WSDC, gue cuma pengen
hmm,
gather as many CV as possible buat gue masuk kuliah
hmm,
top universities misalnya. Atau
hmm.
ada aja yang memang karena gue suka debat, karena gue suka, I am not looking for any achievement, that's it. Atau ada yang karena disuruh orang tua. Nah,
Oh, ada juga ya? Ada yang
ada,
disuruh orang tua.
ada. Jadi ya beda-beda lah mindsetnya. Maksudnya kalau di Indo tuh kan kalau kita ngelihat anak-anak SMA-nya terutama yang debate, ya memang mereka into debate kan. Jadi yang memang kayak gue mau work hard for it, either buat NSDC lah, either buat apa. Sebenarnya dipikir-pikir lagi nggak jauh-jauh berbeda sih dari sisi mindset sebenarnya. Um, dan gue pikir kayak anak-anak sekolah internasional ini akan tahu banyak, ya nggak juga. They also do not read a lot. Kayak
Hmm.
gue sering banget marahin anak-anak kayak, ya baca berita, masa lo nggak tahu
Mhm.
nama Pope yang paling baru siapa, masa lo nggak tahu ada ceasefire kemarin, terus kayak udah gue sama aja sebenarnya. Coba kalau kayak gue lihat,
Mmm,
yang gue lihat perbedaan yang paling ini tuh adalah debater Indonesia tuh, terutama yang SMA, they like to work, they are hardworking. Gue
mmm.
bahkan tahu beberapa yang to the point sampai punya more than three coaches at once, kayak well,
Oh, wow.
power to you gitu kan. Tapi gue ngerti kenapa kayak gitu, karena ada sense of inferiority karena kita EFL, kita dari negara kayak ya Indonesia gitu ya, without having to explain more. Jadinya ada desire to overcompensate by having so many coaches, by reading as much as I can.
Mmm,
However, my comment is do not lose track of why you're doing there. I feel like there's so many people having so many coaches, tapi akhirnya nggak bisa ngefilter what are the best qualities from
mmm,
each coaching yang akhirnya paling bagus buat mereka. Karena obviously when we're doing debate coaching, it's about context. It's about the debate that you have right now. My feedback for your speech in that motion might be applicable to similar
dif
motion, but might not be applicable everywhere else.
agree.
So the ability to filter information, the ability to identify mana yang bisa applicable, mana yang bagus buat diri gue saat itu juga penting. Nah, menurut gue karena ada tendency to overcompensate tadi, jadi mungkinnya ada kemampuan filternya jadi agak susah gara-gara so many information,
Mmm,
overwhelm, overloading, and everything else. Which I hope yang bisa kita lihat, so like it's okay to have so many coaches, to have so many things, no need to feel inferior. And if you want to work hard, another side of the coin is to know how to apply those things. And I think that's,
mmm,
I would say, one of the key differences.
oke. And also talking about the high school, kan sekarang kamu juga lagi ngelatih tim WSDC ya, preparing mereka buat nanti ke WSDC. Mmm, untuk tim WSDC sebenarnya ekspektasimu ke mereka nih at least mereka menguasai apa sih? Gimana ya nih cara nanyanya ya? Kayak what do you expect from them? Let's say kayak well at least mereka punya lebih banyak source of information atau at least mereka mannernya oke atau kayak gimana nih kalau dari Omar sendiri?
My principle as a coach, ekspektasi
Hmm,
gue ke semua anak-anak gue adalah I do not want you to have regrets. That's my expectation.
hmm,
So, kalau misalnya kayak, oh, I want you to be better in this motion, I think every coach would have that same answer. But the main thing that I would like to emphasize on my students or the people that I coach adalah I don't want you to have regrets. I'm giving you the things that I believe could help you. I'm giving you this feedback, everything else you can improve here and there, segala macam. But the point is for you to apply them and not to have regrets. And I think it's normal to expect them like, motion kayak gini kan kayak udah sering ya segala macam. Ya obviously that's one of them gitu kan. Tapi menurut gue ekspektasi paling penting tuh adalah kalau untuk anak-anak USDC yang udah masuk tim tahun ini, they have been debating for so long. They've had a lot of coaches in the past, which means that I'm in no position to say that probably like I would
hmm,
be like, oh kalian harus dengerin gue doang, enggak. Dan kayak yang balik lagi adalah filter information, see the context, feedback. Balik lagi, kita latihan rutin 2 minggu sekali. Hari ini 2 minggu sekali, 2 kali seminggu. Hari ini gue kasih feedback ini, mungkin di motion besok bisa applicable, tapi bisa juga enggak. So it's about knowing all of these things yang bisa lebih nuance dan bisa lebih sesuai sama konteks. That's my expectation. I'm giving you
hmm,
everything I could, but I cannot tell how your brain specifically would filter and work. So I think that is the part that we are expecting. Jadi kalian
hmm.
bisa pilah informasi and use it or use whichever information that you think is most relevant depending on the context of the debate that you are going to have at that moment.
Oke, nice thing to have buat mungkin teman-teman yang mau ke NSDC juga ya. Ini kalau misalnya nanti TA-nya Omar, udah tahu ya kalian ya apa yang akan di expect Omar. Jadi siapin aja tuh speech-nya. Oke, so Omar, talking about debate is also talking about pressure. Ya, especially as a representative from Indonesia. Dan kamu udah ngejalanin itu beberapa kali juga ya sebagai representasi dari Indonesia. How you handle the pressure? Kadang nggak harus ke event internasional untuk ngerasain pressure. Kadang di klasik-klasik aja pressure-nya juga udah wow kayak gitu. Kalau misalnya certain varsity ketemu certain varsity itu juga udah aduh duh, 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 ini nggak boleh kalah nih sama mereka nih. Kita udah punya apa nih sejarah panjang misalnya kayak gitu. But as Omar, how you handle that kind of pressure in a tournament?
I don't feel pressure. Well, no, just kidding. Of course, there is pressure, and but when we feel like we are pressured, it's mostly because of our own insecurity. Like, can we
Mm,
beat them, or can I be better than them? Can I blah 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 blah? So it's so many questions in your brain, in your head, that eventually stems from again your insecurity, which is normal. We're human beings after all. But baik lagi ke moto gue, what you can control, do your best. What you cannot control, so
mm,
dan ini gue ada cerita menarik itu adalah waktu di WUDC Vietnam round 5.
mm,
So at that time gue ada di so before round 5 start, out of 12 VPs, gue sama Bobby lagi ada di 11 VP. Jadi kita cuma dapat second
mm,
sekali. Sisanya kita dapat first terus. Dan so it's bound to happen dari kita akan masuk ruangan yang kayak kurang ajar kejamnya gitu.
mm.
Jadi
Yeah.
tahun 5, gue OG gue itu adalah Oxford, yang eventually won the championship in that year.
Mm.
CG gue itu adalah dari Sydney yang masuk final tahun itu juga. Dan CO gue itu adalah Tamar dan Hadar yang break satu di situ. Dan jadi orang-orang ini gue udah tahu they are like crazy good debaters.
Yeah.
Gue sama Bobby ini siapa? Kok tiba-tiba bisa masuk ruangan ini gitu loh. Dan begitu lihat match up, gue sama Bobby tuh kayak, Bob kenapa kayak gini sih? Tapi kayak lebih ke arah, baik lagi, wait, kenapa kita harus ngerasa nggak bisa gitu. Maksudnya kayak kenapa kita harus panik? Again, what I
Mm.
can control is what I say in our speeches based on the motion. I cannot control their responses. I cannot control how the judges would think. I'll just do whatever I can to make my speeches like great. And against all odds, we get second in that room.
Wow.
Firstnya anak Oxford yang OG, kita yang
Mm.
OO, dan itu marginnya cuma satu. Um, itu gue sama Bobby pasti kasih tahu. Second kita benar-benar pegang paha masing-masing kayak, kayak kita dua. Maksudnya we were happy with our performance in that round karena kayak kita we did our best and we just very happy. Gue inget
Mm.
banget tuh maksudnya soal environment dan gue bawa contoh lumpur lapindo kayak dan gue kayak dan gue bener-bener kayak bilang, Judge, kalau lo nggak tahu lumpur lapindo itu apa, I implore you to Google after this. Gue bahkan ngomong kayak gitu. Intinya adalah, I'm happy with what I came up with. Jadi gue sama Bobby tuh kayak udah nyantai aja ya, udah apa yang mesti dilakuin. Terus pas OE, oke, first OG, second OO. Terus gue kayak, oh wow, interesting. And and I think that's the point that we can do it. As long as you believe in yourself. I know it's very cliche, tapi kayak focus on nothing else other than what you can do at the time. Like there's your biggest pressure is not your opponent. Your biggest pressure is yourself. So
Yourself. Mm.
you need to beat yourself first. Like beat that source of insecurity or whatever. Maybe it's easier said than done. But again, if you really put your mind into things that matter at the time that you can truly do, then focus on that. There's no point in dwelling. There's no point in like overthinking things that you cannot do. So that's how I handle it. Just bring it back to that motto of mine. Like, gue bisa apa sih? Ya udah, apa yang gue bisa aja gitu.
Hmm, ya, benar sih. Jadi kayak kalau misalnya, justru kita kalau misalnya kalah sama pressure-nya, kita malah disappointed diri kita sendiri dan bakal takutnya ngaruh ke round-round berikutnya. At least
Absolutely.
kalaupun kalah, at least walaupun kalah, kamu udah ngelakuin yang terbaik gitu. Jadi biar nggak ada regret kalau katanya Omar tadi kan.
Betul. No regrets.
Nah, last but not least, Omar, after years you're looking at this community, debating community in Indonesia, do you think pasti adalah hal yang bisa di-improve? Nah, what I want to know adalah menurutmu, apa sih hal yang masih bisa kita improve as a community in Indonesia ini?
So, this is a tricky question karena gue ngelihat komunitas kita tuh cukup splintered ya.
Hmm,
Like norms di let's say misalnya di Sumatera debating sama di debating di Jawa. Bahkan debating di Jawa pun kayak lo tau lah misalnya di Jawa Timur juga punya
hmm,
cara sendiri, di Jogja punya cara sendiri segala macam. I think it's fine. What I believe can be improved itu adalah remember the apa namanya the standards. And I think it's just like different styles of coaching is normal, different styles of like expectations are also normal. But what matters is kalau kita ini gue mungkin pesannya lebih ke arah as a coach and also as someone
hmm,
yang di coach gitu ya. As
hmm,
a coach to other coaches out there, I think that what matters is obviously that you can coach the way that you believe is the best for you, but just make sure that we are doing it for the sake of like their achievements ataupun apapun yang mereka inginkan here and there. So we need to conform to the standard. So I was hoping that more and more Indonesian coaches especially would really start using ataupun apa namanya menginternalisasikan ya apa namanya manual-manual yang udah dibikin karena itu kan jadi cerminan buat nanti di internasionalnya. Jadi biar nggak ada lagi tuh kayak kak kok aku nggak tahu karena coach aku nggak pernah ngajarin ini. Jadi kayak sayang aja
hmm,
kan resourcesnya tuh udah ada kan dan they are free, they're constantly updated. Gue juga selalu ngikutin update buat gue update lagi manualnya dan itu bukan berarti kayak gue yang bikin. No, I owe that manual to every other manuals out there yang gue bikin
hmm.
centralized to help the Indonesian community. So the resources are now there. So please use it to really help you coaching and understanding like what can we do. And if there's things that you would like to improve on, menurut gue kedua tuh adalah harusnya Indonesia Debating itu juga bukan cuma tempat buat promo, tapi juga tempat buat diskusi. Misalnya kayak
Hmm.
ada pertanyaan-pertanyaan tentang gue ada masalah ini segala macam, ada coaching segala macam, kasusnya kayak gini dan whatever. Jadinya kan nggak mungkin kalau kayak gitu, oke lah jadi kasusnya jadi publik atau bukan kasus, tapi opininya jadi publik segala
Diskusi.
macam. Tapi I think that's the point of a group. It should be a discussion. Instead of just tempat promo doang. I mean, you can still promote competition, but it's best if we make it an actual discussion. And I think dulu tuh juga kayaknya Yahoo Group ya Mbak, zaman kita dulu ya, kayaknya
Mm, mm, ya.
juga gitu ya, nggak cuma
Mailing
kayak
list.
buat mail list kita dulu kan nggak cuma buat promo-promo, tapi juga buat
Betul.
diskusi kan. And I think that
Raising issue, ya.
yeah, I think it's good that we are able to use it like that. And I wish that the community would be more active in utilizing that. Tapi gimana ya, gue ngelihat anak-anak USDC, gue bilang, informasi lomba banyak di Facebook. Terus kayak, Facebook, siapa yang
Apa itu
pakai Facebook
Facebook?
sekarang? Nah, terus gue kayak, ya mau gimana ya, cuma kayak, that's the avenue that we have. Oke, mau bikin WhatsApp group, bebas. Cuma kan Facebook group lebih gampang ya, karena lebih
Iya,
aksesibel.
benar.
Itu yang kedua.
Betul.
Sama yang ketiga, mungkin lebih ke arah as a debater. I think what we can improve on is really just apa namanya, forget the inferiority. We may be AFL. We may need longer sentences to say something compared to, let's say, a native speaker who can say it like much shorter. But that doesn't mean that your ideas are not as great. So I think that moving away from this mindset that and then we can just achieve things. I believe that improving that mindset is more important. Karena balik lagi, gue ngelihat banyak banget di Better Indonesia tuh yang kayak Mbak bilang, nggak usah ketemu internasional deh, ketemu tim universitas ini, IDS ini, gue kayak udah panik duluan. Like, what's the point, right? I know it's easier said than done, and I think building that mindset that nothing else matters other than what you can bring to the table. And I think that's, I believe, what can be improved. Karena menurut gue kalau dari sisi skill, sebenarnya sejak era of online debating, dan gue sangat happy sebenarnya lomba-lomba gede tuh kayak nationals kita tuh macam apa namanya,
Mm,
Novet atau IVET,
iPad.
itu itu fully online. I think it's great because I think we need to maintain it. I think we need to make sure that everyone from across the archipelago have access to this competition. Karena menurut gue, it's not just about coaching, it's not just about reading, it's also about the experience of competing. I think this is what our community has been great at doing, maintaining that. Kalau kita ngelihat lomba di luar udah mulai banyak lagi yang offline segala macam, whatever it is, great, good for you. But our country still needs the
Mm,
online era. And I think it's great that many people masih willing to participate and masih mau bikin lomba-lomba online. I think that's great in terms of appetite, in terms of like interest. I think that we are pretty much like masih improving a lot. Dan in terms of like karena exposure jadi makin banyak, terus resources online juga a lot of them are available. So many sources. I think that's pretty much like empowering, but it's the mindset and also the way that we are going to make sure that whatever we do is consolidated towards the standards that we are aiming for.
mm, 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 mm. Understood. Oke, Omar. Thank you banget ya, Omar, sudah berbagi your peace of mind about things, terutama tentang komunitas debat kita. And semoga Omar ke depannya juga makin sukses, sukses juga untuk handle-handle coaching-coachingnya, ya. Dan semoga sukses terus, nggak cuma di coachingnya, tapi juga di kehidupannya ya, meraih kebahagiaan yang hakiki, kalau katanya Daud.
Wih, amin, amin. Terima kasih Mbak Nila.
Hakiki nggak tuh?
Everyone,
Sama-sama.
thank you so much Mbak Nila. Thank you everyone. Kalau lo pada dengerin sampai sekarang, makasih banget. Gue tahu gue banyak banget yapping.
Oke, thank you, Omar.
Bye-bye. Thank you.